Hey there, music world. John here from What's Spinning, coming at you with a slightly different video today. I know I've done one of these in the past, but it's been a few months and I figured that, it was certainly time. A little fun fact about me for longtime viewers of the channel. I've done a lot of writing in my life, and I'm very happy to announce that I'm going to be putting out my debut novel in just a few short months. I've put out a few novellas over this last year, but it's time for the big boy novel. My debut full-length novel, Off in the Shadows, is here. It's going to be out on November 30th. Sort of a thriller, sort of a little bit of horror in there as well. If that is your thing, definitely go and check it out. I'll leave the pre-order link in the description. But a lot of my writing over the years has kind of been fueled by a lot of music. And a couple of months ago, I dropped a video called Music to Craft Nightmares to which I chatted about records that I wrote a couple of my first novellas to. And now that the big boy's done, I think that I should talk about some of the music that fueled this as well. And I'm going to start off by giving a shout out to the legendary soundtrack of Silent Hill 3. Yeah, this one right here. It's a really good one. I mean, I've chatted a lot about the music of Silent Hill in the past, and this soundtrack is very near and dear to my heart. Akira's use of impeccable, deafening atmospheres alongside of some very hip beats. It's interesting. While the soundtrack to Silent Hill 2 often does get most of the looks, my personal favorite is 3. It's the most atmospheric and maybe just the all-around bleakest soundtrack in the series. Like, this whole record just sounds like you're just sitting around waiting to witness some really weird occult gathering. There just happens to be a couple of really slick beats that pop in from time to time. Stunning pianos as well throughout this whole thing. It is incredibly atmospheric, incredibly hip, effortlessly cool, twice as creepy, and not only that, but one of my favorite albums of all time. I also got a bulk of this road to Godspeed You Black Emperor's Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to Heaven. I've talked about Godspeed's music a lot on this channel. This is one of the most important and just most revered post-rock records of all time, for a good reason. I mean, I've always said if you just want, to hear the band at their most crushing, go with Hallelujah Don't Bend Ascend. If you want the band at their most desolate and most no hope in sight, go into F sharp, A sharp infinity. But if you want the soaring highs, the dismal lows, and everything in between, this one is a no-brainer. For me, it's a perfect record to write to because it never really sits too still. You have these incredible moments of euphoric emotion and tremendous beauty as well. But you'll also get these unbearably bleak passages that just make you want to hug. And believe it or not, a lot of that turns up in here, a lot of those same feelings. So this was a no-brainer for me. Also want to give a shout out to Against All Logic's 2012 to 2017. Nicholas Jar is an absolute madman and an absolute modern master in sound play and production. But this one project that he did under the Against All Logic name, it's not just a good one, it's a great one. It's one of the most chilling, haunted electronic releases that I've heard in modern memory. I mean, it's almost entirely sample driven, which isn't the craziest thing to wrap your head around knowing Nicholas Jar's style. But I've always thought that there was just this otherworldly kind of backdrop to this album that you can't look past. The warped vocals and icy beats that pop in just sound like they're calling out to you from a different dimension. I mean, if you want a great electronic record to study to or find your inner spooky side, look no further. Also, The Hacks and Cloak, Excavation, one of the most harrowing albums I've ever heard. Like, if you're a modern dark ambient or a drone head and you haven't heard this project yet, you have some homework to do. This album's one of the most tense things that I've ever heard, and way before Bobby, the Hacks and Cloak, was doing remix work or soundtracks like Midsommar, albums like this existed. Between the gasping breaths that make up the vocal work of this album, or sudden drops in sound or production shifts, this album keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's genuinely twisted and not for the faint of heart. This is not an easy listen. As a matter of fact, it's pretty suffocating and deathly quiet at times, but my God, is it cool. Also, Ben Frost Aurora, this is a totally underrated modern electronic record. I will say, ever since Ben dropped this record, his discography's been a little inconsistent. I haven't really gravitated towards a lot of his stuff, but this is a truly great, harsh electronic record with a ton of production tricks. Ben's production here, he literally takes the sounds making up this record and makes his own little unique world out of it. It's icy, it's harsh, it's loud, but there are also moments of real beauty. Seeing a trend here? It's the soundtrack of being stuck outside in the middle of the night during a really intense snowstorm, but man, some of those views are beautiful. Also, real deep cut here, Explosions in the Sky, those who tell the truth shall die, those who tell the truth shall live forever. This record here, at least as far as like post-rock for me, is a really underrated. I mean, people don't really, I feel like, appreciate just how emotionally charged and epic the early days of Explosions in the Sky really were. This album takes me places every time, though. This is, to a T, a great example of storytelling through an instrumental palette. It's emotional, it's raw. There are multiple movements on this record that feel like you're watching some epic war in a movie, but it's also so layered and glorious. It'll make you smile, it'll make you cry, but most importantly, it will get your creative juices flowing as well. Next up, Tim Hecker, No Highs. Tim's music has mesmerized me for years. I mean, just how much music comes out of this one person. Early albums of his like Rave Death 1972 and Virgins have so much going on without the record. I dare you to keep track of everything. But honestly, I did for a while fall off with his music, but this No Highs record, it definitely got me back in the groove. In modern drone and ambient, I've come back to this thing a lot, and this is a cold record. I mean, it will get under your skin immediately. And it is desolate, my friends. Once again, this sounds a whole lot like you're just stuck outside in a really bad snowstorm, one that's beautiful at points. But of course, you're still trapped. I mean, Tim is just a absolute mastermind of sound play, and this record is another great example of that. Also, want to give a shout out to the self-titled Blank Mass record. This is an older one. Ben is one of my all-time favorite producers, and he's evolved over the years from this record, you know, to much harsher recordings, some field recordings as well. But a lot of his early ambient work is just so easy to escape into. This one just sounds like, I don't know, you're trapped underwater. And a lot of it is suffocating between the icy synths and the underwater rhythms. It's unsettling, but it's also euphoric at points. In a lot of ways, this album feels like an escape of sorts, or just the opposite. Also, Erang's Anti-Future has been a cult favorite of mine for years now. Spoiler alert, I listen to a lot of synthwave when I'm writing. I mean, I just love locking in on these campy synths and these over-the-top production licks. And this one here, this is my campy cup of tea. This sounds like the soundtrack to the best dystopian cyberpunk movie that was never created. It's eerie and chilling in parts, but it's also anxious and action-packed. There's also a ton of personality to this record, which I really love. It's just so visual as well, and just a great electronic record. And finally, the final record that I really did often, sink my teeth into while writing my debut novel will be Oneohtrix Point Never's The Age Of. Like, I feel like I'm at the part of my life that, like, I'm almost always listening to one of Dan's projects. And this is a polarizing one in Dan's discography. There's a lot of weird guest vocalists here. But I love the concept to this record. This weird, dystopian, harrowed future where technology has basically destroyed art whatsoever. And even if it is one of the easier records, quote unquote, to get into in Dan's discography, it has a whole lot of great production, and it's an uneasy listening that's just so visual and so easy for me to escape into. But those are 10 records that I really dove deep into when writing my first novel. Like I said, if it sounds something up your alley, I'm going to leave the pre-order link in the description. There'll be more of these videos in the future. But of course, if you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and the album reviews, they will be picking up later on in the day. And I hope everybody has a great one.